next 40 years, farmers will be feeding 70% more people than they do today. You may ask how they'll be able to accomplish this daunting task, but the answer is genetically modified organisms, most commonly known as GMOs. Today, I'll be informing you about these genetically modified organisms. We'll explore their history, see how they're used in our everyday lives, and look at the future that they hold in American agriculture. I live in a very rural area and I'm around agriculture every day. However, I'm very dedicated to conveying only the truth to my audience. GMOs are fairly new, but have a very impactful history. Genetically modified organisms have an abundant yet short history in American agriculture. In 1994, according to GMO Insight, FDA approved the first genetically modified organism to hit the shelves of grocery stores. It was a delayed ripening tomato, which was revolutionary because it was able to stay on shelves longer than a normal fruit. Next were superweeds. According to GMO Insight, they resist glyphosate 11 times more than a normal weed. This was very improvisational because we were now able to see how weeds reacted in the fields. GMO Insight also informed us that in 1999, 100 million fields were planted with genetically modified organism seeds. This was very important because 10 years before, there were no fields planted with genetically modified seeds. After looking at their history, we looked at how they're used in our daily lives. We come into contact with these genetically modified organisms every day. According to TGA.gov, genetically modified organisms are used in medicines, such as allergens, vaccines, and antivenoms. This is very important, keeping us healthy in our everyday lives. Animals and livestock are also subjected to being genetically modified, such as goats, salmon, cows, and cattle. Lastly, crops are also susceptible to being genetically modified. According to bestfoodfacts.org, alfalfa, cotton, corn, and canola are very common plants to being genetically modified. This helps them be able to grow better in the fields and not have to have as many nutrients applied to them. You can see on my screen that there are cows that are grazing in the field that have been genetically modified. So, this new way of farming has made a huge impact so far, but what does their future look like? GMO industry has been growing very fastly. Environmentalscience.org says, biotechnology is a growing industry, a relatively new science that is expected to grow in importance over the coming decades as we find new ways to improve food yield. As we continue to acquire information, we see how plants are affected by stress. We see how they deal with droughts and heat. This is very important in helping us refine them to being able to grow in these harsh conditions. Lastly, as we increase our knowledge about in-hospital environments, we'll be able to see how they react in places such as Africa. This will help us grow plants in places where you cannot grow them before and help deal with the problem of starvation. Overall, GMOs are present in almost every aspect of our life. They affect most of what we eat and take into our body. Today, we learned how GMOs are present in and affect our lives. We looked at their history, how they're used in our everyday lives, and the future that they hold in American agriculture. This is a developing and revolutionary new way to farm and develop produce. Here is something to consider the next time you go to the grocery store. Genetically modified organisms are taking over the industry and are in most of the products you buy. They affect you whether you're aware of it or not. Think of the next time you go to the grocery store and see these genetically modified organisms laying on the shelves. You have to decide if you want to put these into your body or not. So, these innovative new crops and medicines are probably already in your cabinets at home.